At 5:30. I wish to acknowledge the Garryella people whose lands we are meeting and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I also wish to acknowledge Freeman Arnold Carter. Welcome back from being sick. It's good to see you back in Headland where you belong. So it's good to see you back, Arnold. Item 3 is the recording of attendance. 3.2, there is no one coming through the phone system. There's no apologies. 3.4, there's no leave applications. 3.5, I declare I have no conflicts of interest. Item 4, application for leave, there is nil. Item 5, there is no questions from the previous meeting to be answered. Item 6, public time. This meeting is being recorded on audio tape and streamed live as an additional record of the meeting and to assist with the minute-taking purposes which may be released upon the request of a third party. If you do not give permission to record your participation, please indicate this at the meeting. The public is reminded that in accordance with section 6.16 of the Town of Port Hedland local laws on standing orders, nobody shall use a visual or verbal electronic device or instrument to record the proceedings of any meeting unless the person has been given permission by the chair to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with section 6.17 subsection 4 of the Town of Port Hedland local laws on standing orders, mobile phones must be switched off and not used during the meeting. In accordance with section 6.7 subsection 3 of the Town of Port Hedland local laws on standing orders, members of the public are required to complete a question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. If the presiding member determines that the question or statement are out of order due to the use of offensive or objectionable expressions or are defamatory, they will not be recorded or responded to. Before I ask for questions, at the last meeting I made an error and suggested that 5 questions are what a person is able to ask in question time. I've checked the standing orders and that was incorrect. And it says this: a person may ask up to 3 questions at a meeting. And I also just wish to reinforce that public statements are to last no longer than 5 minutes. So I apologise for my error at the last meeting. Do we have any questions? Yep. So we'll take that question on notice and we'll get a written reply to you.
I'll say it now if you want.
He's just come up to the front.
I just wanted to find out about the off-lead for dogs in South. You know, where we're going to get something, or when are we going to get something?
Yep, okay. It's in the master plan for the development of the, what's it called? The South Hedland Sports Precinct, which is the blue building. Mm-hmm. The expansion of that services, there's a kind of an adventure playground for dogs to be developed in that area. So I think you're probably waiting another 2 years for that to eventuate.
In 2 years' time, half of us probably won't be here anymore.
That's possible.
So why is it when there's so many more people in South that have got dogs that we can't have a dog park over there, and yet there's one over here that doesn't get used?
Oh, I think it does get used, but your point's taken. That's in the plan, so maybe we can bring that forward. But your point's well made. I mean, there's lots of land around South Hedland that people can exercise their dogs, I would have thought. But
Yeah, you can
we'll have a look at
exercise your
that.
dog, but you can't socialise your dog.
No, that's true. No, I understand what you're saying. So we'll have a look at that. Thanks.
No worries.
Is there any other questions? Is there any, I declare question time now closed. Any public statements? Yeah.
It's going to take me a couple of minutes, sorry.
Yep.
Maybe even more couple of minutes. Sorry.
So, we didn't break your leg, did we?
No.
No, good, good.
It's on a similar note to what was just raised. So I guess it's just a statement in relation to the off-leash dog area in South.
Yep.
So there is quite a large group of us that meet every single day to socialise our dogs in a safe and responsible manner. We are so conscious of picking up our, their poop, and we're really conscious of other people in the area and other children. I take my 2-year-old, so they're all really incredibly well-behaved dogs. I understand the 2-year comment, and I understand budget constraints and that this potentially isn't a priority for, I guess, the town of Port Hedland. But for me individually, I work shift work, so my dog is a member of my family. This gets me out of the house. This has huge implications for my work-life balance. I have no interest driving half an hour back and forth to Port at the end of a 12-hour shift. So, I'm nervous. I haven't spoken in a long time. Apologies.
You're doing
So
very well.
it's not safe for me to walk around South Hedland. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to fix the safety aspect of South. I'm just asking for an interim fix, a fenced-off area that isn't used. I've got a drawing of a field where there's absolutely no use there. Chuck up some tent fencing. I don't need an adventure park. Our dogs play together. It's really good for their socialisation. It's just some fencing. That's really all we're asking for.
We'll have a look at options and get back to you. Your address is on that form?
Yeah, it is correct.
Okay, thank you. Well done, by the way. Thanks. Any other public statements? Not big. Any petitions? Deputations, presentations or submissions? There not being any, I now close public time. I'll move to item 9. I declare that I've given all matters due consideration in this agenda. Item 10, confirmation of minutes. I confirm the minutes are a true and correct copy of the meeting held Wednesday the 23rd of October 2019. I've got a number of statements I just wish to make. I thought I'd make one, but I'm now going to make about 5, so just bear with me. Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity really to acknowledge and thank Anthea Bird, our Deputy CEO and Director of Corporate Services, and the whole financial team for the hard work over the last few months with the end of the financial year, budget adoption, and of course the audit that also took place. I also wish to acknowledge that the massive achievement of achieving a clean audit, which, in my view, considering the history of this council, is a rarity and something that we all, Anthea and her team should be very proud of. I want to also make special mention of Susan McKay, who went above and beyond her role to finalise the quarterly budget review, ongoing queries from the auditor, while supporting the organisation's needs for, especially there was a 3-week period when she was primarily on her own. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and I thank you for the outstanding work you've done in that area. I wish to also like to thank Peter Chandler, who has been Acting Director Infrastructure for the past 8 months. Peter stepped up during a difficult period in leadership of our infrastructure team, and has also made a substantial contribution towards achieving the town's recovery from Cyclone Veronica. I just wish to thank Peter for that. Fantastic. I also want to acknowledge the departure of Wendy Barnes from our governance team. She will be a huge loss to that section. I wish Wendy and her husband the very best in the future. You will be missed. You were a great asset. I now find that we're losing Tammy Womble, who is going out to our depot to work in getting our projects up and running. So she's not lost to the organisation, just to the governance team. I also wish to acknowledge the opening of the Gratwick pool last weekend. This is something the community have been waiting for many months. In fact, 14 months since it closed. I think it's probably longer than 14 months. I think it was April 2018. So it's been a significant delay. I just wish to thank all the staff and the contractors for the efforts they put in to basically refurbish an ageing swimming pool. This work has proven to be far more difficult than first envisaged. So thank you to all those that put all the hard work in. I know there was some criticism around, but I think that the amount of effort, when you consider the infrastructure that collapsed, the amount of work that was put in was significant, and I thank workers for that. I also wish to state that I expect to make an announcement about the Port Hedland Library at the December meeting. So we haven't forgotten about the library. There's just a few other things we have to sort out before we can make any announcement in relation to that. I now wish to move on to item 11.1.1. This report gives a snapshot of our financial performance for the current budget year as at the 30th of September 2019. It appears that our projected surplus is going to be $393,980 as at the 30th of June. These sort of surpluses are hard to maintain, and it will be interesting to see if the same sort of figure is presented in the December quarter, so I look forward to that as well. I support the recommendation on page 10 of the agenda. This item 11.1.2, is the formal appointments and nominations for external groups. This item shows my involvement within the community, not only sitting in this room once each month. As you can see from the groups covered, again, almost every aspect of life and development, both socially and structurally, of our community is covered by all these groups. It covers areas from planning decisions, which you need to go to Perth to handle the groups down there, right through to regional road groups, emergency management, road wires, regional capitals, and many, many more. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all those people that are on the same committees as me for their valuable input into all the committees. It is true to say that volunteers and these sort of committees are vital for the development of Port Hedland, and all those people that are involved in the various groups. I do thank them for their contributions and educating me as well. Item 11.1.3. This item is an action that takes place each year about this time to list all the sitting days for next year. The only one that is not common is the 5th of February 2020, which is the January meeting, but due to holidays, it makes sense to not meet with a reduced agenda and people of Port Hedland basically on holidays. We have, in fact, to make up for that, 2 meetings in February. So there'll be a February the 26th meeting as well as February the 5th. It also lists the dates for the audit and risk committees, the dates that they're going to occur for the year. plus the last meeting in December 2020 will be held on the 16th of December, also due to the holiday period. I also point out that the meeting of the 5th of February will be in the Wongatuna Stadium. Is that how you pronounce it? Wongatuna? Wonankurra Stadium. Sorry about that. Due to the work that is taking place at this Civic Centre. I support the recommendation on page 22 of the agenda and recommendation 2 on pages 22 and 23 of this agenda. The next item is 11.1.4. This item is a good news story on insurance, which is very rare, I think. It's a bit like having good news with the banking industry at the moment. The insurance industry isn't far behind, I don't think. But last year, annual contribution was $1,142,104.66. We're about to receive a surplus of $131,588, which is a refund back to council. I just wish to state a little bit of the history. During the 2017-18 insurance, your council challenged the LGIC bill for that year and took it to the market. And as a result, the premium was reduced from $1,074,874 down to $1,013,398. There has been a slight increase due to the expansion of the asset base that is covered. The other good news really is that there's a very low occupation health and safety claim history in Port Hedland. So I wish to congratulate the finance team and of course the work crews in achieving this result, and the WorkSafe message is working. So I support the recommendations on page 27 of the agenda. Just hang on. Thank you. Item 11.1.5. This item is a summary that is basically, in my view, common sense and allows for the smooth operation of organisations at the top of the council organisation or operations. It provides for, one, the Director Corporate Services to hold office as the Deputy Chief Executive Officer and to assume duties as Acting CEO in the absence of the CEO. And two, allows Director Corporate Services to represent the CEO when the CEO has other duties. And three, it allows for a senior employee to perform the duties of Acting CEO during the absence of the CEO and the Deputy CEO. So I support the recommendation on page 30 of the agenda. Item 11.2.1. This item expands the deed that One Tree Community Services has to provide daycare facilities in what used to be the Port Hedland Library. The variation of the deed will take effect when the structural changes have been made. This is the final piece of this project to extend daycare through that facility. This was a project that was identified in our last year's survey of what the community wish your council to do, and as a result this expansion has occurred. I support the recommendation on page 33 of the agenda. Next item is 11.3.1. This item is an amendment to the process to approve camping on private property. The changes are designed to be relevant, clear and accurate. This new system provides for, one, a permit system for camping on private property, and two, conditions necessary for approval to be granted. Three, maximum period of approval that can be granted. And four, areas where permission may or may not be considered. I support the recommendation on page 38 of the agenda, both recommendation 1 and recommendation 2. My copy of the recommendation 1 doesn't have a numerical, so that needs to change. I support the recommendations. Did I say that? Yep. Next item is item 11.3.2. These are changes that has to occur when people wish to place containers on their property. This is a proposal to advertise the policy, and the feedback will come back to council. It provides clear objectives for the public to understand. It simplifies the policy and specific design requirements to address the objectives. 3, it's a flexible approach to address a number of scenarios in which the policy may be applicable. And 4, ensures transportables do not detract from the amenity, character and streetscape of our community. And 5, to fulfil the objectives of the design guidelines, design code and the town planning framework of achieving good quality built form. That basically means we wish to, if people want to put containers in their properties, they need to make sure they're not visual from the outside as much as possible. I support the recommendation on page 41 of the agenda. Item 11.3.3. This is in relation to waste collection services. This new policy is in relation to the expansion of the system to a 2-bin recycling system. This system confirms the town's commitment to providing best practice waste management, encouraging and making a provision for improved waste collection services that will ensure the efforts of achieving a new higher level of services. I support the recommendation on page 45 of the agenda. Okay. Item 12, reports to committees. There is nil. And, you're on the risk committee, yeah. No. Motion for which notice has been given. There is nil. New business of an urgent nature. There is 2 urgent pieces of information for the public. The first is 14 point. Oh, okay, sorry. Yep. I need to. I vote to accept the 2 late items and allow for them to be tabled. Is that right? Yep. The first is 14.1, financial report. And this report was presented to the Audit and Risk Committee, which Arnold is part of. The recommendation of the Audit and Risk Committee is to accept and note the comments of the auditors. The auditor has given council unqualified, in my view, clear. That's what my rough understanding of what it's all about, but an unqualified audit. And as I said earlier, this is a great achievement, and I don't think it's something that happens very often here. So it's a fantastic achievement. And they've mentioned some minor adjustments that really means doing things slightly differently in relation to this report. So once again, I'd thank Anthony Bird and her team, and especially Suzanne McKay, for their efforts in achieving a clear audit. Do I have to say anything else with relation to that? That's right? Yep, okay. I accept the financial report. Yep, okay. The second report is in fact the 2018-19 annual report. and I accept this and make these following comments. I hope everyone gets a copy of it and has a read of what was achieved. It is my great pleasure to accept the annual report for 2019. Much has happened in the past 12 months, as people would know. There's been a great deal of dysfunctional behaviour throughout the year, but despite these problems, a significant amount has in fact been achieved and is highlighted in this report. Actions on childcare, new approach to rates, which has seen industry pay considerably more towards running council. This increased rates has, in my view, put some extra pressure on the Shire's capacity to gain contributions for capital works that is vital for the quality of life in Port Hedland to improve. One section of the report highlights the problems of coastal erosion, an issue that now needs urgent attention and will be mentioned in this setting in the coming months. I thank those who put the reports together for the report. It's an outstanding read, so I encourage people to have a good look at it. Item 15, matters which meeting may be closed, either confidential. I declare that the meeting will be closed. I just wish to say that once closed, everyone needs to go, and we deal with a couple of matters, but then the public can come back in after the closure. So I declare that the two items be heard in confidence, and I close the meeting to the public.